everybody. It's the start of 2025, a time when many of us are taking stock of our lives and maybe looking at things we want to change. We believe this is the new year and there should be no limits.
New year, no limits.
Okay. And if that song doesn't inspire you, I don't know what will. Our next guest knows all about reinvention. For years, he battled addiction and couldn't figure out how to get clean. Then he discovered something he loved, climbing, and it was just what he needed to shift his priorities. Now he's helping hundreds of thousands of people maintain their sobriety through community and outdoor activities. He's even written a book about it, and in his new book, it's called Rise, Recover, Thrive. Great title. From the Phoenix, let's welcome Scott, everybody. So take us back a bit, the start of your addiction. So you were pretty young.
Yeah, I mean, my addiction started long before I ever had a drink or a drug. I experienced some early childhood trauma. I had a father with untreated mental illness, and my siblings and I spent time with him on his farm when my parents got divorced. And, you know, in a manic episode, he tore out a wall there, going to put an addition on the house, but never put it back. So we had basically 3 walls, barely had running water or heat. And we spent time out in the woods, and we actually hunted for a lot of the food we ate back then. And then in this other world with my mom, she was very accomplished in business. She ended up becoming a U.S. ambassador. She became friends with 3 different presidents. But when she remarried, it brought alcoholism into our home through my stepfather. So through that emotional abuse from my stepfather and from my father, it caused a lot of self-esteem wounds. And that really led to me at 11 years old having my first drink. And I was just trying to numb that pain I was feeling inside.
Yeah. Well, it got worse before it got better, right?
It did get worse before it got better. I mean, addiction's sort of insidious. It sort of strips away the dreams of who you thought you could be. And I found myself sort of building a life around me where it enabled that drinking and using. I worked in a shipyard. I worked on ships. And we used to just take the top off a bottle of rum and throw it over the side and drink it till it was gone. And I realized that I had sort of gone from like hanging out with the wrong crowd to sort of I was the wrong crowd. Yeah. And I wanted to change my life.
Absolutely. What got you sober? What was there's usually a point for people.
Yeah, for me, I really kind of harkened back to when I was with my dad outdoors in the woods, and I wanted to get out in nature again. So I saw this brochure for an ice climbing class. And I thought, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, but I want to try it. And I stayed sober Friday night so I could climb Saturday. And I watched the guide go up this ice climb, and it was silent, and the snow was falling, and the pine trees were below us, you know, and he did it effortlessly. And then I struggled my way up, slipping off, and my feet popping out, and my belly against the ice. And that struggle was really how I was just sort of showing up in life at that time. But the seed was planted. I thought to myself, maybe someday I can climb like he can. And that gave me something to strive for. And so as I was doing this, I was still drinking during the week, and I had my last night of using. I was paranoid. I was locked in my apartment. I was on the bathroom floor, and I was sure this was how my life was going to end. And I just imagined how it would be for someone to have to tell my mom that. And it broke my heart, and that was the last night I used.
Wow. So you now use what helped to help others at this point, right? So how does it work? How does
so I went on from climbing and did triathlon and got into boxing and all these things. And what I didn't know at the time was those activities and those goals, that goal setting and achieving those goals was healing those self-esteem wounds.
Yeah.
And
it's empowering you, all the physical activities as well, probably.
Yeah, it gives you something to strive for, and then you accomplish it. It makes you hungry for the next thing. But I wanted to share that with others. Too many people were suffering and struggling and feeling hopeless. So I said, I just need to take some people up this mountain with me, literally. And that went from 60 people the first year that Phoenix was founded to now over 500,000 people have come to our free events. And where our goal is to serve millions.
Our next guest knows just how valuable the Phoenix is. She says her whole life changed after joining the community 2 years ago. Everybody say hi to Ashley. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I love your purple, your pink with fuchsia. So this is the first time, we were talking about this a minute ago, this is the first time y'all are meeting in person, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
So how did you hook up with the Phoenix? How did you find out about it?
So my story's a little bit similar to what Scott just shared. I started drinking at a young age and always found myself in environments, jobs, schooling, whatever, where my drinking and the level that I drank was super acceptable.
Yeah.
But it seemed normal for a long time until it wasn't. And I work in the restaurant industry. I was chef. I was opening restaurants. And by 29, I was drinking just to like get up in the morning. And then after that, it was to stay upright. I was drinking. And before I knew it, it was 24/7 around the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up in the hospital with pancreatitis. My liver was starting to fail. Doctors told me if I drink again, I'd die, and it still never clicked. I went to rehabs. I would make it for a month, and then I'd be back out.
Yeah.
And at my last rehab, they brought in a tattoo drawing artist class, and that's how I met the Phoenix. And then when I got out, it took me about 3 months to get the courage to go to an event, because I'm naturally a little bit shy, but the Phoenix has kind of changed that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you were kind of a shy person at first. So you get there. What was the Phoenix experience like meeting everyone and doing?
From literally the first second, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
My first event was a smaller group, but the two people that I bonded with the most, I'm still, like, they're some of my best friends to this day.
Wow.
And I didn't realize it's what my life was missing, this, like, authentic connection and community with people that I definitely wouldn't have found so strongly if it wasn't for the Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. What did you want to say something? I heard you wanted to say something to Scott, right?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for helping me save my life and giving me the opportunity to help others as well. Yeah.
Yay. Thank you. Scott, you say that you've learned something along your journey that you wanted to share, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned through incredible stories like this and volunteers. That's how Phoenix is run, through volunteers across the country, that we're all in recovery from something, and that no one is beyond hope. One of our members says, if there's breath, there's hope.
I love that.
And we believe that to our core at the Phoenix.
Yeah.
And we see the dignity and the strength and the ability to transform in every single person that comes to Phoenix. We don't see people as sort of like a problem to be managed. We just see them as part of the solution. And this is a perfect example. Somebody finds the Phoenix, they're empowered by it, and then they can share their belief with the next person who walks through the door that they too can change their lives. So I think that would be the core message for folks that are watching, is that it doesn't matter what you're rising from the ashes of, you can do it, and 2025 is your year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Hydro, the leading connected rowing brand, strongly believes in your mission, and they're going to give the Phoenix $5,000 just to help out, just to pitch in. They love what you're doing. They love what you're doing. It's so incredible. Congratulations to you both on being sober. That is incredible for y'all, and thank you for paying it forward as well. Like, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping others. It's such a beautiful thing. So let's do some commercials. We'll be right back with What I'm Liking.